So I've been throwing out the word antigen a lot. I want to make sure we have a good definition of antigen first. Antigens are chemical targets on pathogens. So when we talk about antigens, you're going to have pathogens and parts of pathogens or any kind of foreign substance are going to have these antigens on there or these little protein markers. It's a chemical target that our immunity knows that they can attach to. That's what an antigen is. It's some sort of marker. Now, when I talk in humans, we may have been talking generically about, antigens that we have on our surface. What we're going to say now from this point on are going to be MHC markers, or major histocompatibility complexes. So major, because it's a large thing, but histocompatibility, so histo meaning tissue, compatibility complex. So we're seeing these little protein markers that are identifying our own self. So these are self-recognition targets that we have on all of the cells within our body. This is going to relate to that tolerance we talked about. Our immune system needs to ignore these self-antigens. And so when I say self-antigens from this point on, I'm going to call them MHC markers. Some textbooks will call it human leukocyte antigens, or HLAs. That's not the term we're going to be using, but they are going to be used interchangeably in different textbooks. So I'm going to say MHC, but you may have learned them as HLAs previously. Now, for what we're learning here in immunity, we have two classes of MHC markers. So with class 1, you can see over here on the left, every cell on your body is going to have a class 1 MHC marker. This is your self-recognition protein that's sticking out there. So you can see there are these different components to it. I'm not going to make you know them, but class 1, every nucleated cell in your body is going to have this, and it sticks out on the surface of the membrane. So it's like a peripheral protein that's sticking out that our immune cells can go by and monitor and scan. MHC class 2 markers are only going to be found on antigen-presenting cells, or APCs. So these are certain white blood cells that we have that are phagocytic, as well as our lymphocytes. So our lymphocytes, like our T cells and our B cells, will have the MHC class 2, but all nucleated cells will have the MHC1, which means the cells that have an MHC class 2 also have an MHC class 1. Now, these MHC markers that we have, these are going to be coded on your chromosome 6. So chromosome 6 of your DNA is going to code for a bunch of these different MHC markers. You're going to have anywhere from 100 to 300,000 of these MHC markers on a cell that are sticking out on the outside of the membrane. So you're able to scan it with your white blood cells to see if it's actually you. These are what we refer to as antigen holders. So they act like a platter to hold antigens on the outside of it, making it able for other white blood cells to scan them. In terms of genetics, the MHC markers you get are co-dominant alleles. So you got one from mom and one from dad, and both of those are going to be presented with your MHC markers, which is why if you ever do like organ donation, siblings are much more closely related in terms of organs than parents and child, because the siblings are more likely to have more similar MHC, because again, it's co-dominant alleles. So you got a piece from mom and you got a piece from dad. So this class 1 MHC, again, you're having hundreds of thousands of these on a cell. They are there to present antigens. If this is a normal, healthy body cell, it's going to pick up random pieces from the cytoplasm of the cell and then push it outward. And then when your white blood cells come by, they're like, oh, here's a normal peptide that's bound to my MHC marker, and that's a good MHC marker. So then they will ignore that cell. They will exhibit that tolerance and not attack it. But if something happens where the cell is abnormal or it's infected by a virus, it's going to present an antigen on the surface that is not going to be you. And at that point, that is going to tell the body that this is going to be an infected cell. We need to do something about it. So let's talk about how it's going to present that outward. I don't want you to pay attention to this cell at the top here. So where it says CD8 cell, everything above that, plus this part that says TCR and CD8, we're not worried about for that for right now. What I want to look at is going to be this little box section, which is enlarged over here. So this is our body cell. It's a nucleated body cell, because you can see here's your ER, your nucleus would be down here. This is its MHC1 marker. So this MHC class 1 marker, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of these just sticking out on the surface of the cell. It has a little spot in here where it can present antigens to to your immune cells. So what ends up happening is you're constantly making new MHC markers. So you do that because your DNA is going to be in that nucleus. That DNA on chromosome 6 is going to code for the proteins that make up this MHC marker. So as you start going through protein synthesis, you then take that DNA, you translate it to mRNA. The mRNA is going to go to the ribosomes, and then here's the ER. The ER is then going to assemble all those little pieces so that you can push it outward through exocytosis and then push the MHC1 out onto the cell membrane, and then it will stay there. Now notice, as it's doing that, you're going to pick up random peptides that are floating around in the cytosol. So the cytosol is going to have all this stuff just free flowing. Some of it's going to be pushed inward into the ER, and as it's doing that, it's going to be picked up by that MHC1, and then it's going to be pushed out. Well, you're going to continue doing that. You're going to make another MHC1. It's going to grab something else from the inside and push it out. Grab something and push it onto the outside. So this is happening continuously throughout the day, and your MHC markers are replaced every 8 to 24 hours, where you're going to have it out there, and then it's going to be brought in and destroyed, and a new one is going to take its place. So you're continuously making these MHC markers, which means you're continuously grabbing random stuff from your cytosol and pushing it outward. And as long as you grab something that's a normal cellular product, it's fine. It's going to be pushed out there, and it's going to say, hey, this is what I found inside my cell. Your white blood cells are going to come by and say, oh, that's a normal peptide on our MHC marker. We're not going to attack it. So that's the tolerance we're talking about. We're picking up random peptides that are going to be within the cytosol, pushing it onto the MHC1 as we're assembling them, and then we're pushing outward what we find. And they're like, oh, here's what I found, here's what I found, here's what I found. So they're doing that constantly just to see the state of those body cells. So again, this is the MHC1 markers that every nucleated cell in your body has, and it's a way of showing how healthy that cell is to your immunity. But if that body cell, which is part of a tissue and is stationary that's sitting there, is infected, it is a way for us to signal for help. So we're making those MHC complexes. So there's your nucleus, you're assembling them in the ER. Well, if you have a virus that came in, it injected its viral DNA, we have all these little pieces of abnormal peptides, because the whole point of viruses is they inject their DNA, and then you start making whatever that DNA coded for. So now you've made all these little peptides that are going to be infectious, abnormal peptides. It could be a bacteria that came in as well. Either way, you have all these little peptides that are going to be within your cell that's bad. And then your MHC markers is going to grab something, and then it's going to be pushing outward. Now at this point, our MHC marker is signaling for help. It's basically saying, this is what I found, and then your adaptive immunity will go around and say, hey, this isn't supposed to be here, and then it's going to target that particular thing. So we're going to know that this cell is infected because we're going to be displaying this abnormal peptide on our MHC class 1 to let us know that this is an infected body cell. Now, one of the things about the adaptive immunity is it takes time to get started, because you have to activate it, because you have to identify that one particular antigen and then tailor something specific to it. So our body cells are starting to get infected. That's happening separately. What we're looking at now are our antigen-presenting cells. So our antigen-presenting cells are going to be cells that are going to activate our adaptive immunity. An antigen-presenting cell is not an infected body cell. These are specific macrophages, dendritic cells, or B cells. And so what ends up happening is, this is one example of what can happen with bacteria. This phagocytic white blood cell, to say this is a macrophage, it finds bacteria. It doesn't know what kind of bacteria it is, but it knows it's not you. So it engulfs that bacteria and then breaks it down with all its lysosomes, with the digestive enzymes, to break it down into these antigenic fragments. The antigenic fragments are then going to be pushed out onto our MHC class 2 now. So then we're going to push this out onto the MHC class 2. Now remember, this is a white blood cell. He's patrolling, so he's moving all around your body. Now he is considered to be an antigen presenting cell, because on his MHC2, he is presenting the antigenic fragment. He's saying, I found this non-self thing. This is the thing that we need to target, and this is what we're going to work against. So adaptive immunity, go and find something that's going to match this so we can fight against this one particular thing. That's going to be the first step that we have to activate our adaptive immunity. It's going to be having this phagocytic cell presenting the antigen that we need to fight against. If your body cells are infected, like we saw on the previous slide, we can't do anything about that until this APC comes in and shows us exactly what we need to fight against. So now this mobile macrophage is moving around and it has to then activate our T cells